Hello, kia ora, I'm Philip Duncan, and thank you for joining us for our Thursday weather update recorded on the 20th of February. Let's get into the forecast with still all this low pressure up in the tropics and high pressure coming out of Australia and heading towards New Zealand. But before it arrives, we do have this southerly change going to drop temperatures and bring in some showery weather over the next day or two, maybe a few isolated thunderstorms as we get that hot weather mixing up with the cooler weather. Meanwhile, in the tropics, as I said the other day, a lot of energy up there, but with all these lows next to each other, they keep sort of stealing energy off each other. And so it is reducing the chances again today, even though yesterday it was increasing the chance. Today it's reduced the chance of that tropical cyclone. But look, this whole area may well still produce a tropical cyclone in the next week. But it's interesting, I was talking to Bob McDavitt yesterday. Hello, Bob, happy birthday. Former weather ambassador of Met Service. And I told him about my forecast of two cyclones, and he was like, I'm not so sure about that. And I wake up this morning and see that the computer models have backed down. So well done, Bob. You're retired and you're still onto it as perfect as ever. Let's have a look at Friday. So as we talk about these tropical lows, yesterday there were a couple of them. Today it's kind of merged into a larger pool of low pressure south of Samoa and near Niue and also near Tonga. So we've got some rain chances coming through in these areas in the next few days, some very heavy bands of rain. I know some parts of Tonga at the moment are a bit dry, so rain will be welcome, I'm sure, for the crops. But we are seeing a lot of low pressure up to the north, so still keep an eye on it, but in the short term, nothing too alarming just yet showing up. New Zealand on Friday, we've got that southerly change, so there are the showers. Some of those could be heavy and thundery, as they might be even later on today. As we go through tomorrow, it moves northwards, and if you need rain at the top of the North Island, this is likely to fall apart, running into higher air pressure, and also the high pressure zone over here near Australia is moving in and pushing all of it eastwards as we go in towards Friday night. So Saturday doesn't see a great deal of change, other than the high pressure system moves closer from the Tasman, and that kicks away most of the wet weather. Still some showers down around Southland and Fiordland in particular, maybe some of those coming around into the Dunedin area, but it is more of a west to southwesterly there, so that'll be pushing much of that out to sea. Otherwise dry, sunny, summer-like weather, but you may notice the mornings a little bit cooler, especially now that the mornings are shrinking as far as daylight is concerned, getting less and less daylight hour or daylight time as we go through the next couple of weeks. You're going to notice it even more, those mornings getting darker, and so a little cooler in the mornings as the nights stretch out, but those afternoons are still pretty hot. So as we go into Sunday, there'll be plenty of heat around New Zealand as the high rolls on in. Up in the tropics, still plenty of low pressure, still watching this low pressure zone very close to Tonga, Niue area, and then more low pressure here behind it around Fiji, Vanuatu, and out over the Coral Sea. And this one in the Coral Sea is probably the next sort of big one to keep an eye on, but for now, we've got this protective layer, if you like, of high pressure. It keeps the wet weather away, and protective's not the word you want if you need rain. So you can see these lows all stacked up here on Monday, 4 of them up in the tropics, all taking a bit of energy from each other. That reduces the chance of a tropical cyclone. Over New Zealand, high pressure, not much to talk about. There's a reason I'm talking so much about the tropics, because there's really very little to talk about in the New Zealand area. Next week kicks off with high pressure. A weak cold front tries to come through on Tuesday. It's not going to do very much. A slight temperature change in the south, a bit of rain for Westland, couple of showers only for Southland, and pretty much everywhere else dry. You may start to notice the easterly flow at the top of New Zealand as well, courtesy of all that low pressure up in the tropics. And here on Tuesday of next week, that low out in the Coral Sea looks very much like a cyclone, but like I've said all this week so far, you just got to watch what the lows are doing next to it. If it takes energy away from it, or if it sort of splits further away and allows one of these lows to really deepen properly. So our final map is for Wednesday of next week, and one high pressure zone exits New Zealand out past the Chatham Islands, out past the international dateline. The next high pressure zone moving in between Tasmania and our South Island. So that little cold front that tried to move in on Tuesday, there's a bit of leftovers of it, just a bit of cloud, few showers here and there. It doesn't look like a lot, although you might end up with an afternoon downpour. It's always possible as we are in summer. But yeah, all eyes perhaps on the Coral Sea. As we see that low deepening, there's another one next to Fiji worth monitoring as well, and plenty of wet weather stuck around Tonga and Niue as well. So there we go. Busy weather forecast, and at the same time, not much to talk about. That is all from me. I'll be back again tomorrow, Friday, as we update what is happening in the tropics and New Zealand's weekend weather. We'll see you then.